All right, everybody. It is the end of week 4 in the football season. It is time for episode 3 of Hanging with Daddy. There's worse places you could be. You could be at a karaoke bar with Urban Meyer right now, but instead you're hanging with me. So here we go. Let's get started. Let's hit that fire intro.
Get down. Turn on the pod cause we looking at live right now. Peeling it back, take a quick look inside up. All of these analysts, daddy gon' handle this. Know he's a baddie, I know he ain't bad at this. We gon' lay back, talking irrelevance. Why do all that? Just for the hell of it. Hanging with daddy. What's the vibe though? Late night vibes. Oh. Hanging with daddy. What's up, Mike? Turn it on right now. I got the remote now. Hanging with daddy. Let's go. Late night vibes. And we're hanging with daddy. Turn up. Turn it on right now. Daddy got control now.
Never gets old. It literally never gets old. Every time I hear it, it gets a little bit better. And speaking of getting better, this show is about to get better because I have the most amazing guest for this episode. You know him. You love him. You will see him on Yahoo. Check out his latest article on Cordell Patterson and Myles Gaskin. A lot of good stuff in there. You will find him Wednesdays at 7:30. I was completely wrong when I asked him what time the show was. I thought it was Tuesdays. It's Wednesday at 7:30. You find him on the Mailbag Show and all the stuff he does with football guys. You know you can find him on the timeline. This man is all over Twitter. And you know what he says on Thursday? We got to hit it. We got to give him a, hey, it's Thirsty Thursday. We're going to get him out here. You know him. You love him. It is my man, my homie, and my Canton roommate, Troy King. What's up, brother?
Yo, man, that's one hell of an intro. And I love the Thirsty Thursdays dance. Man, I could have listened to all that. And your theme song is hot, man. Shout out to Gabe. That's such a fire theme song. I was dancing in the backstage, and it was dope, man. Thank you for that intro.
Oh, man, you deserve it. Like I said, you were doing some crazy stuff. I mean, I remember me and you met, what, I think it was last August, right?
It was last August.
You're playing the satellite. I'm making weird trash talk videos about people I don't know, but, you know, we knew nobody. And now, man, 10K, Yahoo, football guys in the fishbowl. First time, right? Your first ever fishbowl.
This is my first ever fishbowl. Yeah, it was wild. But, yo, so I remember I'm going to talk about when I first met you, right? Because I didn't know you. All I knew was on my timeline, I saw this guy that had the funniest trash talking video I've seen in a while. And I was like crying, laughing. I'm like, who is this guy? I'm like, this is great. Because I didn't know you then. And then after, I'm like, oh, okay. And I think he got added to a group chat. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the dude I saw on the timeline. This is before, you know, all the other stuff I was working on. I was just, you know, trying the timeline. And I was like, man, this guy is hilarious. And again, we've been friends ever since, man. I was like, look, I got to be friends with this guy who could trash talk that well. It was like poetry. It was like poetry, but like in trash talking form. So that's how we met. That's how we met, that trash talking video. So it's funny how that one video has led you to pretty much all this, hanging with daddy and all the other adventures up until this point. So it's kind of wild to think about.
It's crazy that we went from where we were, and it's funny because I remember, like, I had put a few things out, and you were one of the first people to retweet my stuff, and like I was like, oh man, you know, this is my homie, and where it led us to was a random overpass in Canton, Ohio, because you wanted chicken.
We gonna tell the story, right? We're gonna tell the story.
Okay. Heck yeah.
Okay, so all right, y'all. So for those who know, we were in Canton, Ohio for the expo. Mike was the first person. He picked me up from the airport. So he picked me up from the airport. We get to the hotel. We were hungry. Mike had a car, but we decided that, you know, we weren't going to drive the car for some reason. We were going to walk. I was with him on that, right? We were going to be eating bad and drinking all the time. So all right, we said we're going to walk. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to go to Raising Cane's. Clearly, Mike and I don't know how to read a map. We have no idea how to read a map because we thought it was a lot closer than it really was. So we had to go on ramps, under overpasses. We hiked for some chicken, Raising Cane's chicken. And then we finally made it. It took twists and turns, and people must have thought we were homeless. We finally made it. We couldn't even sit down inside because it was closed inside. I'm just like, are you kidding me? The chicken was really good. Maybe we were just hungry, but the chicken tasted delicious. And then our friend Linda had to come save us and pick us up. But we went through hell and high water just for some Raising Cane's chicken. So they should sponsor this show based off of our adventure.
They should. I mean, realistically, Raising Cane's and High Noon Sun Sips feels like the right sponsors for this show.
Yes, I love High Noons, man. I'm not a huge seltzer person, but High Noons, for some reason, that thing's just refreshing.
Oh, it's great. Now, in our defense, on the map, our hotel was here, and Raising Cane's was like here. So you figure, like, I thought it was like maybe 5 times.
Close.
Yeah, it looked close, and they didn't mention like dangerous highways and people staring at you. But hey, we got it done. We had a great weekend. It was, more fun than I could have imagined. Starting it off with you, Linda and Courtney, was perfect, and then really hitting. Oh man, walking into that bar was wild. Remember, we finally went to the hotel and hit that bar. How crazy things got. Like, it was overwhelming. Like, man, I was at a panic attack.
Yeah, not to mention, not just meeting all these strangers for the first time, and I also got attacked by a furry. So that's the story. Happen. Yeah, and it was funny. I showed my wife, and my stepdaughter actually saw the video too, and I explained to both of them what a furry was. So that was fun. But it was a good prank. I wasn't expecting it, but that's one heck of a way to meet people from the first time from the internet. So
absolutely. And now we're here. And realistically, I think that both of us probably had a pretty bad week. My understanding is you lost to Cooter this week. Darren Waller didn't quite pull through.
Okay, so I feel like I think I'm in two leagues with Cooter, and I keep losing to her. It's unbelievable. This must be revenge for the Josh Allen thing, right? So for those who don't know, we're in a league with Cooter together, and I had the second overall pick. Normally, I would have gone Kyler Murray, but for some reason, I really wanted Josh Allen. And also, part of the story is that she had the 101, and Mike had the 103. So she traded down, and it was a fair trade, but she traded down to the 103 because she just wanted Josh Allen, and she didn't want to take him 101 overall because she wasn't expecting me to trade Josh Allen. So I took him at 102. It's been a joke for a while. It's funny. I actually tried recently trading her, and she wouldn't trade Kyler Murray to me. But I think she's holding a grudge, right? So I'm going to tell Josh Allen about that. But she beat me in that league. She beat me in that league, Darren Waller, and I thought it was a tight end premium league. I forgot it was not tight end premium. So
nope.
my hopes would have been a lot lower because after when he was scoring, I'm like, oh, how many? I'm like, wait a second. I thought he should have higher points. And I'm looking at the score and I'm like, damn it, it's not tight end premium. And again, Darren Waller, he had a fine game. He just didn't have a good enough game for me to overcome losing. And Cooter beat me, and then she had a little bit of fun on the timeline. Cooter likes to talk trash. She's not as good of a trash talker as Mike is, but she's good enough to make you be like, damn, man, I need to see her again.
Oh, it stings a bit, and I'll tell you. So I lost in the fishbowl on the last drive. I was playing against Austin Eckler, and he picked up 24 yards on 2 carries in the last drive. All they do is tackle the man. And I lost by 2 points. So that hurt. Bad week, man. Bad week for us. But definitely. It could have been worse. Because we know one man who had far worse of a week than us. The man who had to get Shad Khan to come out with a statement that said he addressed this matter and his weekend conduct was inexcusable, but he believes his remorse is sincere. Now, I don't know what video Shad Khan was watching because sincerity is not what I would call what Urban was spewing. What is it? Don't tell me you're sorry because you're not. Maybe you're only sorry because you got caught is where we got into. Now, let's talk about it. First of all, this man is in trouble for going to a karaoke bar, not flying back with his team and going to a karaoke bar and getting what I can only describe as the saddest lap dance in history. Now, what's going on here, Trey? Where did this all come off the rails? Like for you, how did this all unravel, and where do you see this going?
So let me start with what you pretty much were first saying, right? Okay, so you just lost your fourth straight game. You are winless. You're winless, right? Your new coach, your team has not won anything. And every single coach, I feel like no matter the circumstance, winning, losing, you fly with your team. You go home with your team. But I think his excuse was he was visiting his grandkids or something like that, which is, again, that's an off-season thing. Like, bro, we're in the middle of the season. You just lost a game. What the hell are you doing? Like, fly back with your team, figure out how to win. Like, that's what your job is, right? Like, look, I get the grandkids and family, but now is not the time. Not when you're 0-4 and you need a win. So that's first off. And then, okay, so that's your excuse. That was the cover-up story. And then we see you at a bar with one girl. One, she was ridiculously much younger. First of all, not just that, but you're married with children. There's this popular picture that he has with a picture of his whole family on this table or whatever. And I saw a lot of people photoshopping, this young girl and him, and it's not a good look. And not just that, but you're clearly sitting there. You're not moving. Clearly, again, you're the only old man there. You're the only old man there sitting there. This girl is, when you're Urban Meyer, you realize that people are going to recognize you, right? And not just that, it's like, again, you lost to Cincinnati. You used to be the Ohio State coach. People are going to recognize you. Like, what are you doing? And like, yeah, and you're in this college bar, like, one, you're just an older guy. Hey, I know that guy. You're Urban Meyer, and you're getting a very sad lap dance, and you're not moving. You're not trying to do anything. And then there was that other video that made it, that alternative video was worse. That other one wasn't great, but the alternative video of, his thumb was exploring. His thumb was Dora the Explorer. That's all. I'll leave it at that.
Yep, swipe or no swiping right there.
Yeah,
man.
swipe or no swiping. So I don't know. And then again, my thing is he got caught, but it's like, it's not only that he got caught, it wasn't really trying to hide it. It's one thing if you're trying to be, look, I'm not condoning his behavior, but if you're going to do that, you probably want to be a little bit more low key and, less stupid. I don't know. Just the whole thing. Again, you're a head coach. You're famous. Urban Meyer, you're famous. You're an NFL head coach. And again, you're in the state where you used to, coach for Ohio State, the most popular thing in Ohio. People are going to notice. And it's just, again, it just feels like everything that he's doing ever since he started has been absolutely insane. And I think I forgot the Twitter handle. I think it's My Sports Update or something along those lines. He listed out all the things that Urban Meyer's done, which we all knew. Everything's just been questionable, right? From that hire that one coordinator who's racist or did horrible things in college, to drafting Travis Etienne when you had, one of the best running backs last year in James Conner. You could have spent the draft capital on anything else, anything else that would have made sense. And then the list goes on. And then the whole, you openly admit you wanted Kadarius Toney. And it's like, what? Like, he's doing things that you're not supposed to do. And again, everyone thinks it's to get the USC job, which makes more sense. But at this point, I'm just tired of the man. He's a joke. And it's sad to say, but I'm like, he hasn't done anything respectable since he started. Like, and again, like, the most respectable thing he did was that the game was close. The game was close in Cincinnati, but that's like good effort, right? That's what we could get. Good effort for the last game, but that's about it. Everything besides that is just, I had to go on the rant. I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it. And I'll tell you, it's funny because what kills me is that nobody saw this hire being a train wreck. I didn't hear it once that people thought that, hey, maybe Urban Meyer might be a scumbag and might be a failure as a coach. I mean, did you?
Oh, yeah, let's not get started on the whole Ohio State scandal nonsense. Oh man,
what I love is how predictable this was, and how nobody like. What's funny is if this happened with like a Bill Belichick or an Andy Reid or even Sean Payton, like a respectable coach, like I feel like this would be like a huge explosion. but it became
But they're
a
not that
joke.
dumb. They're not that stupid.
Exactly. And I think it became a joke because you almost could see Urban Meyer doing this. Like it almost made sense. I mean, like you said, the first thing he did was hire a coach who was fired for racism.
Mm-hmm.
Subsequently had to fire him 3 days later with the most predictable protest I've ever seen in my entire life. And the bar was so low. Like I wasn't expecting this team to win. I wasn't even expecting him to be a good coach. Like you said, just expecting you to fly home with the team. Show up to team meetings. Like the bare minimum. Like we
Bare
set
minimum.
the bar so low of just check the box, Herb, and he couldn't. And now what you have is an owner who's like, well, I think he feels remorseful. I'm like, is it that, or is his contract guaranteed? And bringing in another coach ain't gonna change your fate anyway.
It's not, because like who's left, right? And it's like, okay, you already hitched your wagon to him for at least next year, unless like he has to really continue. If he goes winless, then yeah, he'd probably be out by the end of the year. But it's like if he just needs to win a couple, I feel like if he just wins a couple games, he probably stages, because again, he hits his wagon. I feel like he's like a 2-year experiment. He should be a 2-year experiment unless he continues doing dumb things, which, let's be honest, at this point, it wouldn't be that shocking based off his track record. So if he continues to do dumb things, he might just kick himself out and leave. But I think the owner's like, okay, we've been really sucky for a while. It's crazy how the Jags they had Blake Bortles. They were almost in the Super Bowl. This is a few years ago. They had the best defense in the league a few years ago, and it all went to crap, And again, it's just, I feel like right now they're just holding their franchise is a joke. Unfortunately, it's a laughing stock. Trevor Lawrence. Thank God they have Trevor Lawrence, because if they didn't have Trevor Lawrence, and like again, obviously he's their franchise quarterback, you can see glimpses that he's going to be good. That's their bright spot, right? You have like a Visca and all that, but the weapons around James Robinson. I can't forget James Robinson. If they're smart, they will start using James Robinson as one of the best running backs in the league, which he was last year. And he showed last game what he can do once you give him the workload. So you have some bright spots, but management is a disaster. Oh, one thing I didn't even mention, Tebow. I didn't even mention the whole Tebow nonsense. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot about that. Like, you might need him, this coach, to save you. Like, Tebow you may need to hire Tebow as the head coach, because that's when he needs to. We need some holiness or something around that team. But
clean it up a bit, right?
Yeah, we need to clean up a bit. Yeah, but yeah, man, I don't know. It's just the Jags are a complete mess. They need a whole overhaul. I mean, I think they were trying to, but they need another overhaul. They need a redo on their overhaul.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to change gears a little bit. Thursdays. So I don't know how many people know that this started on a bet with Linda about what Thirsty Thursday actually means, right? Was that the origin of this whole mess that I have to deal with once a week now?
It's funny, man. I don't get to talk about the origin story that much, so I love the opportunity to talk about it. So yes, and the fact that it's a thing every single week. So yeah, talk about the origin story. So Linda and I, everyone knows the term thirsty. Like, one, if you find someone else attractive or you just go overboard, that's being thirsty for somebody. Mm-hmm. But then somehow Linda and I, got into this conversation about Thirsty Thursdays. And she mentioned something about a drinking holiday. I don't know how the conversation started. And I'm like, when I think of Thirsty Thursdays, I think of being thirsty. And then we were going back and forth on text. And I'm like, sometimes I ran like, you know what? I'm going to do a poll. So I did a poll, right? Yep. And I expected to lose the poll, but I didn't expect the poll to be as much of a blowout, because at least for me in college, like I just didn't go to bars that had Thirsty Thursdays. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a regional thing or whatever, but the bars that I went to didn't say Thirsty Thursdays, but apparently everywhere else in America had, Thirsty Thursday thing. So when I put this poll up, people are like, why is this a poll? It's clearly drinking alcohol. And then, but it's funny, 18% of people were on my side. And then it's funny because the poll was less about the Thirsty Thursday alcohol version winning, but more about 18% of people were on my side agreeing with me. And then the comments exploded. Because I had no intention of making this a thing. and then just the reaction, and then it was like at that point it was January this happened. I had these random verified accounts like commenting, and it just created some crazy storm. Like what? And then like people just were just shocked by this was even a topic, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna make this a thing. And I think like, you know, especially Linda is like, I can't believe this is happening, because she shout out to Linda, because she's the accidental co-creator of Thirsty Thursday. She will
she's gonna love that. She is gonna love that.
I've told her that, but she's never taken full credit of it. She hates it. She hates that she's co-creator, but she is officially co-creator, whether she likes it or not. But now, for those who don't know, you know, I feel like everyone who is gonna watch this show, if you don't know what it is, follow me on T King Mode on Twitter. Every Thursday, I start the morning off and I say, guess what day it is? And then everybody does their, you know, thirsty versions of their gifts. And also when it's not Thursday, you know, there's this whole thing about it's not even Thursday yet. If you see something that's thirsty and it's not on Thursdays, that seems to be the popular line, right? It's not even Thursday. And you know what? And I just love that it's a thing. And I love how like Thursdays people think about me. And now, since we're in season, I love how I can just tie that in with the NFL. And, you know, just like last week, Joe Mixon, I know he got injured, but he played 69% of snaps. So I made a joke about he played 69% of snaps on Thursday night football. Look, it just, and so, yeah, so that's the origin story. That's how it happened. And I love how people are always want to participate in this dumb holiday with me every week.
All right. Now, you did say that there might be people out there who haven't seen it. I can't imagine there are, but I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Live version.
Oh, you want me to sing the song?
I want the song.
Okay. Hey, it's Thirsty Thursday, and I like the way you move it and you swing it my way. We're all like, hey, it's Thirsty Thursday. All we want to do is party, shot, and let's celebrate.
Now, is that the first ever live version? Did we get the first ever live version?
I think that was the first ever live version of it. I don't think I've ever done it live before. I can't remember. Not the whole thing. Maybe like joking around, but never like that. So it's a hanging with daddy moment in history. You got me doing the Thursday song. It's why I don't even sing it that much anymore. I don't sing it that much. I'll tweet about it like, hey, but I don't even sing it that much. So I'm glad I got to borrow it back. I almost had to remember the lyrics.
I would have helped you. I know the lyrics. That's
I know. Oh,
I cannot get it out of my head. I'm not saying I enjoy it, but I can't get it out of my head.
And that's the funniest part, right? It's so simple. It's so catchy. I just thought of it one day. And then especially when I did that, right? Because the song came way after the holiday was a thing. And I just decided I'm going to make a song. And people are like, what the hell? Why are you making this song? But the thing is, everybody knows that, hey, it's Thirsty Thursday. If you don't know anything, you remember those lines. And that's, I guess, it's part of being Timeline Troy. The fact that I can get y'all to participate in this dumb holiday with me is very flattering. And now I can't wait till this Thursday. Now I'm more excited about this Thursday. This episode should drop on this Thursday. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but this would be a perfect episode for Thirsty Thursdays.
I'll see what I can do. I can't guarantee it, but I can guarantee you, if it drops tomorrow, which would be Wednesday, we will absolutely be tweeting it out on Thursday. I think we'll cut that part. Maybe we'll have that be the intro to Thirsty Thursday.
Ooh, that would be very nice. I like that idea. Oh boy, look at us. Our brain juices are flowing live.
Collabing. Like this was not rehearsed. It just now it's happened and here we are.
Oh, none of this was rehearsed. Absolutely none of it.
No, there's no show sheet. There's no anything. We just kind of show up. All right. So here's the thing. Like one thing I do like, and you see a lot about it on the timeline, is transparency. And I like when people kind of take ownership of something that maybe you've tweeted out, maybe a move you've made in your league that realistically you look back on and say, wow. Like for me, and I want to make you comfortable, so we'll start with mine.
Okay.
It was last year, and I had tweeted out that the Bucks remind me a lot of the early 2000s Washington football team. A whole lot of names you recognize that are way past their prime and won't even finish 500. And I've never actually gotten hit with the take that was that bad. I actually had a gif of Bruce Arians, the one where he snaps his head looking, and said he drafted off of a fantasy football guide from
I think I remember
2017.
this tweet.
Yeah. I ripped into the Bucks, and man, did they come back and smack me in the face and make me look foolish almost instantaneously. I mean, they were the best team in football like the week later. So that's about as bad as it gets. But for you, take me to a time where you would look back at your time and say, "Oh man, I can't believe I actually thought that would happen." And why was it when you said that Tua is a good quarterback? Go ahead.
Okay, this is funny. Look, man, Tua has not gotten a fair shot. I'll say that obviously what we've seen so far, I don't think he sucks, but it's obviously not, a superstar yet. But I believe that Tua can do his thing. So that's not what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
So since we're on the subject, man, Justin Herbert. When he was first drafted, you understand. Obviously, I'm a Dolphins fan. For those who don't know, I was scared because the reports were Tua Herbert. I'm like, I want Tua. I was vehement. Like, if you go on my timeline, don't do it because you don't have to bring him up. But I was like, tank for Tua is a whole thing. I'm like, I hope the Dolphins make the right decision and draft Tua. I was all about that. I thought Herbert was okay, but anyone who told me they thought he knew was going to be a superstar, I think y'all lying. It may be like one or two people, but I'm like, no one expected Herbert to be this good, or he would have been picked over Joe Burrow. Let's be honest. Like he's played better than Joe Burrow. Yes, Joe Burrow, he got his knee injury, but this year, Herbert's better. Herbert's better than Joe Burrow right now. He's better than Tua. So I think that's probably my biggest miss, just not wanting Herbert. And then again, I don't think that Tua's story has been written yet, but no matter what Tua does after this point, he's not going to be Justin Herbert.
Probably not.
He probably not. And again, and that's fine. He's a different kind of quarterback, and like you don't need him to be Justin Herbert. I always come to like Kirk Cousins, right? I feel like that's like who would be his ceiling in terms of the way he is. He's not super flashy, but he's accurate, efficient, and he gets the job done. I think that would be Tua's ceiling. Just that's the way he is, what we've seen from him. He's never going to be like some super explosive, throwing for 300 yards a game consistently type of quarterback if he's healthy. Now, I want him to get back on the field. God, the Dolphins are terrible. We're the 31st ranked offense, so that's awesome.
That's pretty bad, yeah.
And we're the 28th ranked, rushing team, so that's also awesome. But look, this week, speaking of the Bucks, the Dolphins and the Bucks actually face off this week. And I actually have a bold prediction article that's coming out this week about why you should draft Devontae Parker. And you should play Devontae Parker. If you have DFS, if you play DFS, you should play him. You know why? Because one, Devontae Parker, he actually leads the team in targets. Barely. It's like 21 point something to 21 point whatever to Jalen Waddle. He also leads the team in receiving yards. And the Bucs secondary is the worst in the league. So talk about a DFS play. Like, you want to get that. Like, so that's off subject, but yeah. Herbert, my biggest miss.
Love the call. Just make sure you're checking that injury report. They were down 3 cornerbacks. If those cornerbacks come back, I have the sense that the Bucs passing defense will pull itself back together if they get a full complement. But if they don't, man, I love that Parker call. I'm a big Parker guy anyway.
I like him too.
Oh, he's been a stud. Will Fuller now is week to week with a broken finger, which is interesting. I always thought you just taped those, but it is Will Fuller. So here we are.
Oh my God! Don't give me started, Will Fuller.
Now you come on this show. You talk to me. You know what the brand is. You know what I'm looking for.
Of course.
So let's end this one off. The best sandwich you have ever eaten, in detail. Hit me with it.
The best sandwich I ever eaten, most recent history, man. It might have been when I went to Canton. I think recent memory. It was this grilled cheese. It was like, I forgot what the place was, but it was like some place that the Melt. I think it was called the Melt. Yep. And they specialize in these different kind of sandwiches. And man, that sandwich was fire. I think my sandwich was, I just remember I had all these different kind of cheese. I love grilled cheese. In terms of sandwiches, it's one of my favorites. And man, I think it had like bacon in it, just different kind of cheeses. I don't remember all the details of it. All I know is I was in heaven. Granted, I was feeling it after, but that probably look. I'm just a grilled cheese guy. If you can make a grilled cheese, we could be friends.
All right. So Joe brought you to the right place. Joe Bryan, I believe, was the one who brought you to Melt
Joe
Right.
brought me there.
So he knows where all the good sandwiches are. Should I be hitting him up next time when I need
You
sandwich
should
advice?
absolutely hit up Joe. I think, but you know what? It's actually Ryan Weiss. Ryan Weiss from Club Fantasy told Joe about this place because Ryan Weiss, he actually lives, I think, he lives in Ohio. He lives in that area. So he told us about this meal. I never heard of this place. Shout out to Ryan Weiss. That place was delicious. Now I want a grilled cheese sandwich. That might have to be something I do after this show because this conversation has made me very hungry.
That's what we try to bring to people. We try to bring them hunger. We try to bring them sandwich advice. We try to talk about all the recent events. We try to make things uncomfortable. And obviously, we have to talk about the recent events. But that's going to bring it to a close, my friend. Anything that you want people to know, anything that you want to shout out, anything you want to plug, now's your time.
Man, I would just say that, guys, I wouldn't appreciate everybody who's been following me, but follow me at T King Mode. Also, follow me at T King Mode on Instagram. I'm trying to be more active on Instagram, so do that. You can find my articles on Yahoo, every single week. Every Tuesday, you're going to see my takeaway from the previous week. So that's really important just to see what I think about that week and advice going forward, as well as I contribute to a bold prediction article for Yahoo every single week too. So check that out. That comes out on Thursdays. Check out the mailbag show for Football Guys, Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we answer all your questions. So it's me, Dave Kluge, and Victoria Geary. Again, everyone has a lot of start-sit questions, trade questions. So that's the spot to go to. Submit your questions to that, as well as, just shout out to, Mike, man. Mike's been one of the realest people I've met since I started in this space. We become genuine friends, and I'm so happy for him and all the things that he's got going on. So just shout out to him to end it.
Oh, I appreciate it, my man. And thank you for coming on. This is more fun than I imagined. I appreciate you. This was episode 3, Hanging with Troy. Next week, we're going to bring you episode 4, The Man of a Million Voices. We are hanging with Jake Trowbridge.
Ooh, boy.
Next week. Oh, I get only the best guests. I am the luckiest man in this space. And now what we have to do is let Gabe take us out. Troy, thank you. I'll catch all y'all later.
Get down. Turn on the pod cause we looking at live right now. Peeling it back, take a quick look inside up. All of these analysts, daddy gon' handle this. Know he's a baddie, I know he ain't bad at this. We gon' lay back, talking irrelevance. Why do all that? Just for the hell of it. Hanging with daddy. What's the vibe though? Late night vibes. Oh. Hanging with daddy. What's up, Mike? Turn it on right now. I got the remote now. Hanging with daddy. Let's go. Late night vibes. And we're hanging with daddy. Turn up. Turn it on right